up, Through the Waves? We are back with an all new episode. We are super, super exciting for this new season, Through the Waves, where we talk about real feelings, real waves that people are going through. And we are just so happy to have you. For those of you who don't know us and would like to get more familiar, go ahead and follow us at Through the Waves Florida on Instagram or Through the Waves on Facebook, or go ahead and like or subscribe on any platform that you are listening on right now. We would love to have you come back and just to get to know us a little bit more. But thank you so much for joining today. And today our special guest is Britt. Say what's up, Britt.
Hola, how are you guys?
I'm so excited to have Britt. Me and Britt have known each other for what, probably like 3 years now?
Yeah, pushing almost 4.
And this actually... I know. 4? What?
Yeah, almost. I know. Crazy to think about.
That's crazy because it's almost 2023.
Yeah.
Wow. Life is weird.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we're going to be old.
What year are we in?
Right.
So
Right. That's how I feel.
2020?
What?
No.
2023.
Like when we met. No.
Oh. We met
It was
in
2019.
2019 at the end of 20.
Okay,
so,
maybe it's 3 years.
Okay. Yeah, that would technically
You were
be
right.
3 years. Okay.
I can't. My math.
I was like 4 years. That came, but 3 years came up really fast too.
3 years came by like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
But
Fast.
me and Britt met at a Christmas party. The same night I actually met JR, my husband. The Christmas party was hosted at his house by his mom.
So crazy.
And I remember it was an ugly Christmas sweater party.
Sure was.
And I don't even remember what sweater you had on that night.
Oh, honestly, I don't know.
And we just kind of hit it off. It was really fun. We were playing games and
We did.
That was a really, really fun night.
It was an interesting night. I remember going. I didn't expect anything of it too, and I was like, whatever. It's my first because I started going to like church, and
yeah,
I was like, all right, let me put myself out there, make some friends. And my mom had been praying, that I'd make some godly friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mom, whatever. Like I'll go to this thing, fine, just for you. And I went, expecting nothing, and then I met Sarah and Heather there.
Yeah, Heather, you'll see her on the podcast, I'm sure. She's my cousin.
Yep, I met her, and I remember seeing both of you, and I was just like, oh, they're cool. Like, they're awesome. They're cool people.
We thought the same thing about you. We're like, Britt is so cool. We need to hang out with her. And then I think, like, a month later, we went on a shark dive together?
I think, it was in February, because, about a month later, we went on the shark dive, and I remember that day very vividly.
We threw up a lot.
A lot.
Do you remember how choppy the seas were that day?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Were they like 5, 6, 7 feet?
It had to have been, because I remember being in the water, and I remember looking up, like, at the instructor, and I was already, like, queasy at this point. I'm like, I'm going to throw up if I don't get out of this water.
I know.
And I got out, and I think I was just inevitable at that point. I was just upchucked everywhere.
Did you stay in the boat the rest of the time?
I did. I didn't even get back in the water.
Yeah.
We have to do it again, though.
We do.
I feel like I'm in a better place now.
Definitely. When it's like less choppy, better seas.
It cannot be choppy. That's a one and done.
I remember I went up to like the captain's area, and I was just sleeping
like
the rest of the time. And then afterwards, like after we like threw up and everything, we went and got a burger, I think.
Yeah, I think we did that too.
Yeah, and then we're like, all right, we're gonna go home and go to sleep.
That's right, because you got bit right here.
Yeah, I got a remora hickey.
I remember.
I'm gonna give that to JR to put that on the flash that on the screen.
You should put that in.
I swear it was from a remora.
Good picture.
Nothing else.
It was pretty intense though. Like it was pretty decent.
I remember being in the water and just being like, oh my God, did I just get bit by a shark? And then I was like, no, Sarah.
I remember you saying that too.
Yeah.
Like I remember you're like, I just got bit. And I'm like, wait, whoa, by what? Yeah. And you're like, I remember you looked up and I was like, you have a little sting there, but like you weren't bleeding. So I was like, all right, it's not that bad.
It was so scary because it just like, it was like a shock because he just, they have the little teeth.
Like sucked
and he just sucked onto me. And then I like got out of the water, I think, for a little bit just to check. And it was like, he was like, oh, you got like a huge hickey on your neck. And then it's like, how do you explain that to your work? You show up to work on Monday and they're like, what did you do this weekend, Sarah?
What were you entertaining in?
Yeah.
It was pretty funny though. But yeah, I remember that day.
But
very
that
vividly.
was a fun time. And that's where our adventures really started. And me and Britt have become pretty good, like, lifelong friends. We've done a lot. We hung out a lot during COVID.
A lot.
We actually filmed, remember those weird little, like, we used to film these, like, fake talk shows.
We sure, we didn't do that just for funsies. Like those.
I guess it got us prepped for this.
Absolutely.
I think I was like Shark Sinatra.
Shark Sinatra.
Because I had, like, a little fedora hat, and I thought I was so cool. I really looked ridiculous.
I miss those days.
But
that was funny.
Speaking of, Britt, so we like to do a little icebreaker game, and I remember you specifically. If you guys are wondering why there's 2 lemons and an avocado. There really is no reason why there's 2 lemons and an avocado. It's just what we had in the fridge.
You had in the fridge.
We love our avocado around here. But we usually do like a little icebreaker game, just so people can get like a little relaxed and loosened up. And since you used to juggle for our Shark Sinatra,
yeah,
I want you to give him a little bit of something here.
All right. It's been a minute, though.
You think you can do all 3 at once?
At once?
Yeah.
I mean, that's juggling, no? What would it be called if it's only 2 lemons that you're just
That's
throwing?
juggling, right? Can you juggle too?
No.
Okay,
Is that
she's
a thing?
about. I think
All right.
so. Okay, she's about to throw them up in the air.
It's been a minute.
The 2 lemons on
Actually, let's do it like this. That way, because it's heavier in the middle. So just give my right arm
gives you like a little
work.
balance.
Yeah. All right, let's try it. I might only get like 2. It's been a second.
Oh, dang! She's going with the avocado.
We lost the lemon. It went overboard.
Rip lemon. So okay,
Rip lemon.
wait. Let's see it with the 2. Let's see with the 2. This is juggling too, I think.
Is it though?
Yay! She did the avocado and the lemon.
Ooh, is it though?
I don't know.
Sun-kissed.
I mean, that's what I consider juggling for myself. I don't think that I could do that. I would just throw them across the room.
Yeet. What's it call it? What is that game where you play with like the tennis racket and you just hit a bunch of fruits and like vegetables? It's a thing, I swear.
Is that pickleball?
No. Although that's a good one.
Pickleball's your favorite, right?
Oh, I love pickleball. Has my heart right now.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I know, that's like your favorite thing to do. Every time I like ask you what you've been up to, you're like pickleball. Pickleball.
What else is there to do? It keeps me entertained. One, keeps me energetic. And I feel like it makes my brain think because it's all strategic, you know? It's not really so much as like power or strength or anything. It's literally just strategic. There's like 89-year-old women out there that play with us that are like 20 times better than I am.
Dang.
And she's 80 something. Yeah, they're pretty old. Okay, maybe not 89. Maybe like in their 70s, but even then.
I mean, kudos to them. I'm like 30 and I can barely play pickleball.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's definitely like a
You're 29, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to hit the big 3-0.
I am. I'm thinking of going somewhere. I don't know where though.
You should.
We're Pisces. We're both born in March, right?
Yep.
That's right.
Pisces fam.
March 1.
I don't know what that is. I was like, Pisces fam.
I just know March is like my thing.
Yeah. Pisces. We're like ocean people.
Yeah. And we're sensitive.
Exactly. Very sensitive,
but I'm very
caring.
Sensitive. Caring. It's a big one.
You
Compassionate.
Know, yes.
Another thing.
That's all I know. Kind of like quirky.
I only know about me.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But yeah.
Team Pisces.
I think that's why we get along. That's why I think all my friends are like.
Yeah, and we get along well with Cancers.
Cancer is correct.
Heather's a Cancer.
Heather is a Cancer.
I'm not sure what JR is. JR, what are you?
What's October?
I don't know.
I don't know. I just know.
We must get along though, because we're married.
All my friends are Pisces and Cancers, so literally all of them. Yeah, I just get along with them.
We just mesh well.
We 100% do.
But yeah. So what's new though? I mean, we haven't really seen each other. We've seen each other off and on. You've been doing like
I've been busy.
Your work stuff and
I started paramedic school in January, and that from January to April, I literally had no life. Like
January to April?
Yeah.
Because of medic school.
Yeah. Every day I was in school almost. So we're on a shift schedule, so it's like 1 day on, 2 days off, but on your days off, you have to go to your clinicals, you have to do your ride time. So I literally would get like 1 day off a week. It was horrible.
Dang.
Mentally, I was struggling. Yeah, because my mom had died a month prior to when I started. So
yeah, that's crazy. I forgot about the timing of that because I was in December.
Correct.
So you only had like a month to kind of heal a little bit, and that's not really a lot of time.
It's nothing. When you look back, like when I look back at it now, what was I thinking? I think to myself, I'm like, why? Why did I even schedule that? Like, why did I do that to myself?
But it honestly, like, keeping you so busy probably helped you get through that time.
I think I just pushed it aside. Yeah. So I didn't give myself time to really deal with those emotions that I was feeling because there was a lot of them. And then I was so stressed because I didn't want to fail.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a rough time. That beginning portion, just trying to figure out, what was happening with my life and my relationship with God. It was just a lot in that moment.
Yeah.
Grateful for it, but I'm glad that it's over.
Yeah, definitely. that part was probably really hard. And I'm sure that's something that she would have been like, hey, you need to go do this.
I know, and that's another thing is like I
Which
didn't
is-
want to let her down too.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have to do this. She wouldn't want me to stop my life because she's not here.
Yeah.
But then a part of me was like, how am I supposed to keep on when she was my life, you know?
Yeah.
Like she was a big part of my life. So I'm like, dang, what do I do? So
Yeah. It was hard
Yeah,
just trying
it
to like
was-
figure out and
Correct.
navigate.
exactly. And then when so I'm on orders right now for the military and they asked me to start in May. And I was like, dang, do I cut school for 4 months, like a semester off, or do I continue in paramedic school? And I'm so glad that I decided to take a couple months off just
Yeah.
because I had a lot of time at work to
Yeah.
just do nothing and
Yeah.
to think. And I saw a therapist during that time.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I cried a lot.
Yeah, that's okay though. I cry a lot. too.
Exactly.
I go to therapy. I went to therapy today, and I
That's right,
actually
it's Thursday.
I think this is one of the few that I didn't cry in, but I
Okay.
cry a lot normally.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
And I did go to a therapist and you know, she helped me juggle with things that I didn't even know I kind of had struggles with in that time. But I think the biggest thing was the time to be alone and not really think
Yeah.
about anything because I didn't have anything to worry about, you know? I had like my little test here and there, but that was it. And that was my focus during these last 4 months. And I made some friends.
That's good.
It was all around. It was
Yeah.
something I needed to do, and I'm so grateful that I got the opportunity to do it because I couldn't imagine going through and again taking another 4 months and not being able to deal with those feelings that I pushed back in December. So it was nice.
And that's like probably the hardest thing because that's something that just throws you so off guard, and like you have to just continue with life. Like
Yeah.
you have no choice. So then like having to just continue on
Yep.
and having like no idea, that was probably like, I'm sure that month before you went to school
Yeah.
was probably like the hardest month.
It was, you know, like I don't even honestly December was such a blur. I can't even like I looked through my Snapchat stories and I look at like what I posted in December.
Yeah.
And I was like happy in some
I
I
remember
was like
you traveled
smiling
a lot. I feel like
I
maybe it
did.
didn't hit you.
I
though.
don't think it did. Correct.
Yeah.
I don't think it hit me, and I don't think it still, in a sense, has hit me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Like it's been there, but like I don't.
It's
I
so
don't
like
know.
kind of hard to process
Yeah,
and hard
it's
to
still
believe.
unbelievable. I guess
Yeah.
in a sense, like she's never coming back. Like you know, it just still hasn't clicked. And I guess because I was in the military for so long, that I was away from her for so long, that I didn't see her often. That it's just kind of, it feels like that. It feels like I'm just on a deployment or I'm stationed in another
Yeah.
state that I just don't get to see her all the time.
Yeah.
The only difference now is I called her every day and I can't call her now.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest
Yeah.
thing.
I remember
That
she
sucks.
was like your best friend.
Oh, that woman, man. I
Yeah.
miss her every second of my life. Like think of the most important person to you. Like
Yes.
they're literally the most important person to
Yeah.
you. And then take that away.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
can't
that
imagine.
is
Yeah.
what my mom was to me. She was
She's amazing. Oh,
I miss
love
her.
you, Britt. She's an amazing person, and
she was cool.
yes.
She was a goof.
yeah, she
She's
really.
definitely a
You get a lot of
goofball.
your personality from her.
100%. You know, I didn't realize that
yes,
too.
you guys are so. Have you been doing like the succulents and stuff?
I have.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I'm not gonna lie though. The last couple days I haven't been here. I went to look at them today,
Yeah.
and they were a little rough. I'm like, all right, mom, what am I doing wrong?
Brett's
So I don't know if they're
mom
getting too much
loves
sun,
succulents. Yeah.
or if they're just not getting enough TLC because they don't need that much
I can't
water.
take care of plants. I kill them all. I'm sorry, guys. Don't ever buy me a plant. There's one in my living
I'm
room
gonna
right
buy
now.
you
I
a
don't.
succulent, but you gotta just put it in the sun.
But like,
Just a baby one. It'll be like this big. I got you.
I feel like I'm
we'll
gonna
do
kill it.
It'll be a test.
but yeah, I'm not a good plant person. But that's a good thing to do, though. Like, I feel like it's good to do things that you would have done with her to kind
Yeah.
of keep that memory
a good
going
idea.
and, you know,
Yeah.
keep that spirit alive because, you know, again, you will see her one day.
Absolutely.
And I think that's just the hardest thing, like going through life and as, you know, like you lose people or move away from people, like you will always see them again.
For
It's
sure.
just the hardest thing to comprehend because even though it may not be in this lifetime,
Yeah.
like you will. And you can still talk to her too.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Girl, daily. I'd be like, Ma, for real? Or like, I don't know if you noticed, but rainbows, they always come. So for when she died, it was like 2 days it rained straight. Nothing.
Really?
Like no sun, no nothing. It was just straight
Interesting.
rain.
Yeah.
And on the third day, there
Yeah.
was a rainbow.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow, like that's incredible, right? And everybody was sending me pictures of rainbows. Like at least 10, I got 10 photos. They're like, look, a rainbow. And we're all located in different parts of the country at this point.
Yeah.
And they're like, look, a rainbow, look, a rainbow. And I was like,
really? Like family and friends and everything?
Friends,
and they're
everything.
all seeing rainbows?
All of them seeing rainbows.
Wow.
And they started sending this stuff to me. And my sister would get them. My dad would get them. And we're like,
what?
Mom?
Did your mom love rainbows or something?
Yeah, she would always notice them.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing. Like, we never really thought anything of it. And then one time during, I don't know, there was one time we took a picture, there was a rainbow in there. And I remember crying because I missed my mom. And I was like, I looked back at the photo and there was the rainbow. And I was like,
you didn't even know it was there.
No idea. And I was like, holy moly, like she was with me. And then just recently, her birthday was, what, three or 4 days ago? And guess what? Me, my sister, and my dad, I'm not joking, in our group chat, all three of us saw a rainbow that day.
What?
I swear it.
Wow,
all three of us.
That's crazy.
So now we associate rainbows with my mom, and it's just
so cool.
It's a little reminder. So
I feel like God definitely gives us like those signs all the time that like are the weirdest thing happened to me. The reason I have Psalm 91 tattooed on my arm is because of my grandpa. He used to say Psalm 91
really
every day before he left the house. But I remember right after my grandpa had passed away, I was sleeping, and sometimes I like used to fall asleep with YouTube on, and I would like listen to sermons at night, and then I would fall asleep, but I would never wake up. Like I'm a very heavy sleeper, so I would just sleep through the night. And I remember one night I just woke up like out of nowhere in the middle of the night, and it was right after my grandpa passed, like maybe just like 2 days, and Psalm 91 was just like playing on YouTube, and I'm like,
no.
And then I remember I went right back to sleep, and I'm like, okay. My grandpa's good. Like, he's good.
That's cool, right? Oh,
yeah,
so
and
cool.
it's just crazy. And, like, I don't know about you if you're, like, a dreamer, if you have dreams with people who pass away.
Oh, yeah.
But I have always had a dream about, like, my family members that pass away. And I feel like, for me, like, I don't know if this says this anywhere in the Bible or what, but I feel like that's kind of God's way of saying, like, hey, they're good.
They're
like,
okay.
They're okay.
I think one of the big things that I found peace with is my mom lost her mom too when she was younger. She was, I think she was like 30 something.
Oh, wow.
My mom, or she might have been younger. I don't know. She was around that age.
Yeah. Your mom was 30?
Yeah. My mom was younger. She was around my age as I am now.
Yeah.
She lost her mother. And every day, like every once, I remember growing up and I'd watch my mom cry for no reason. She's like, I just miss my mom. And I never understood that because one, I was a kid.
Yeah.
Two, my mom was right there. I'm like, you're annoying. Leave me alone.
And
like,
you didn't know her because she passed away.
So I met her a couple times, but
Oh,
I didn't. I was a kid. I was like, what, 10 maybe? Actually, not even 10. I think I was like 8.
Okay.
The
so
oldest.
you didn't have like a very close relationship
I just,
with her?
not at all. Like, I just remember her and I watch videos and I'm like, I remember. We called her grandmama. It's like, I remember her. Like, she was like my mom.
Yeah.
This happy. She was just always happy. She was just a happy woman. And I'm like, dang.
That must be where your mom gets it from.
Correct.
And then you get it from your mom.
Exactly. So I remember, like, the only thing that gives me peace now is knowing that my mom is with her mom. Because that's literally all she ever wanted was to be with her mother.
That's so
and
good.
that's the biggest thing is that my mom is now with her mom. And that just gives me this peace knowing, because I know how bad I want to be with my mom.
Yeah.
And knowing that my mom is with her mom, I'm like, it's not that bad.
That's so good. No, it's not. Yeah, she's up there.
Chilling. Like,
Chilling.
They're probably
she's got it
laughing.
better than us. Yeah, she's like, I want to go back to that place. I can't wait till Britt gets up here.
Probably just laughing like.
Yeah. Smiling
Have
down
fun.
at you. She's so proud though. Like, Britt, I mean, you're just killing it.
that.
Like, I give you so many kudos because, like, the day your mom passed away, you went to church. You called me that morning, I remember.
Did. It was 8 in the morning.
Yeah, you went to church. Me, I don't even know, like, what I would do. And then, like, just the strength that you've had since then. I mean, it's still, like you said, it hasn't even been that long. Like, it's been, like, what, 8 months or something?
Yeah. August. Yeah. 7, 8. I don't know.
Crazy.
I can't do math.
Yeah. But it hasn't been
But
that long. And just, like, the perseverance and just, like, I feel like your faith probably has a lot to do with it, too.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you, I remember you were telling me, like, you feel like you kind of
100%.
distance yourself a little bit from God. But I feel like our faith, even when we feel like we're distancing ourselves, like, it always still plays in, and, like, God's still always there helping us.
I agree.
And, like, it's
sure.
in the back of our mind subconsciously, and, like, we know how to move, like, with him.
We know what steps to take with him. But
yeah. even though we feel like we're
Correct.
not pursuing him fully, like we know we have that mustard seed that's like really
That's
gonna
true. That's good.
keep us
That's
going.
Good. That is good.
So I basically feel like that's what
That's
you have been
good.
doing.
Wow.
Is you've been
That's a good
using,
way to put it.
Yeah.
I never thought about it that way. I'm so hard on myself.
It's the mustard seed, you know?
Wow.
You've been using it and you've been like chucking along, you've been powering through.
Yeah, somehow, I'm telling you. I don't know.
I don't know how people who don't have faith though do it.
I agree. The second my mom died, I was like, what?
Yeah,
What do
you're
you,
like,
how do
how
you
do I-
process this?
Yeah.
How do you even, like, what do you believe? Where do you go?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think? You
Yeah.
know? Like,
Especially someone who doesn't have faith, like, what do they believe? You know,
I
when somebody
agree.
passes away,
They're just going to the ground.
and do they
Yes.
just like they live their whole life being okay with they'll never see them again? Because
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't,
not sure.
you know, I don't think that would be a good feeling to have.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to ask somebody.
But I really do feel like
Thought process.
God gives us signs for our loved ones. I remember,
Sure does.
like I don't know if you have had these weird dreams about people who pass away,
Huh.
but like a lot of my dreams that I have of people who are passed away, they don't talk. I don't know if it's because I know mentally
Huh.
that they are like passed away, but it's always like this like peace kind of like feeling about
Yeah.
them, you know?
My mom definitely talks in the dreams. Honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, the last
Uh-huh.
couple of dreams I've had of her haven't been too good.
Mm.
A lot of them are of her being sick still,
Mm.
and she's like not okay.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say they've been good dreams lately. I'll have a few here and there,
Yeah.
and she's talking.
Yeah.
But recently they haven't been, like, they're not good dreams. They're
Mm-hmm.
not something, like, they're not like my mom normal, like how I remember her. They're of her in her last couple days
the
of
hard
life.
times.
Yeah, like the last
Yeah.
couple months I was with her, and they're not very good.
Yeah, and then you probably wake up feeling like
and I
a
wake up
heavy-
and I'm like,
yeah.
you know, like,
What do you do?
Because I
like-
can't do anything about
Yeah.
it. It's just,
Like, what helps you get through like when you have those kinds of dreams?
um,
Do you like wake up and like say a prayer and like
no, I'll wake up and be like, well, it's not real to
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
dream. You
yeah.
know? Like, I lived through that, because
Mm-hmm.
it'd be dumb of me to not, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, not to like pretend that it didn't happen,
Mm-hmm.
because it's what happened. It's what I went through. It's what I felt. And I'm thinking maybe it's just emotions that I didn't get to
that's true?
experience, and my body's
Yeah.
finally just experiencing them, because our dreams I feel like we have no control over our dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I have some pretty dreams. I'm like, whoa,
Right?
what am I
You're
even
in like
thinking about?
Avatar or something.
Yeah,
and you're like,
like-
flying on a bird, like
The
a
most
banshee.
random things,
Yeah.
random people too. I'm
Yeah.
like, what? We've never talked once, and I have a whole dream
Right?
about you.
You're like, who are you?
So like, yeah, there's just, I don't think we have control over them, but I think a lot of them have to do maybe with our feelings, or just something that we subconsciously that
Yeah.
we think about but we don't think about. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it's just stuff that I didn't get to say or
or process,
feel
like
or
you said.
process
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
correct during that time, that are just coming in every once in a while now, and I wake up and I'm like, well, it's not real.
Yeah.
So I take that out of the way, and then I usually just talk to my mom. I'll be like, Mom, I miss you. Like, I miss you.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Which is so good. Like that's a good way to, I feel like, to process it and to handle it. And I think too, like when you have those dreams, like to try to think about like, yeah, that happened, but
yeah.
think about like where she is now.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's like
true.
we all have our process. Like we're all gonna die. Like that's something that's inevitable.
Absolutely.
Like that's gonna happen to all of us, and nobody knows how, but we
Nope.
know where we are
Where
gonna
we're
be
going.
as long as we're seeking
Crazy.
Jesus. Yes.
Of course.
So I think when you do have those dreams, like it's good to just think of that, and like
Yeah.
that'll give you peace. And maybe even like when you wake up after that, like, you know, ask the Lord to like pray
sure.
to him and like ask him to maybe like show you like the peace and like where she is
I'll
now.
try that.
Like some sort of
See
form of peace.
how that helps. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I just sit there and I'm like, well, glad that's over with.
Yeah. I know sometimes too, like for me in like those situations, it's hard for me to just like be like, especially when I'm struggling with something.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to be like, all right, God, help me. Like, because I think sometimes when we're struggling, like we just want to do things on our own,
Oh, for sure.
you know, or like get through it or get past it or like not acknowledge it.
I felt like, yeah, that's
You know?
probably what I've done these last couple
Yeah.
months. Which isn't the greatest, but
You're doing great, really.
yeah,
Like,
I feel
honestly.
better. I feel better. I'll give it that. I'll definitely feel better than I had prior to
Yeah.
starting school. But I think the biggest thing was just making different
Mm-hmm.
friendships and just spending that time alone is so crucial for me.
Yeah.
To process things, I need to be alone. I don't know why. It just it really helps me.
I've noticed that because I remember after your mom passed, I tried to like reach out, and I'm like, Britt is ghosting me, but I'm gonna be a good friend, and I'm gonna still. But I know how you are, so I didn't take it personal at all. I noticed
it. I appreciate everybody who reached out to me. Yeah, I love them. Yeah, eternally for it because it meant more than anything. Yeah, for somebody, especially to reach out when your parents or somebody you love passes away. Mm-hmm. That's probably the most. Knowing that somebody cares for you when you feel so alone. Yeah. That alone just
like a heavy grief.
Yeah, it's just heavy. Like there's nothing you can do, and just sitting there it probably would have helped. But the fact that you called and took your time to just wonder how I was doing, trust me, it didn't go unnoticed. And I'm forever grateful for it.
Well, I know that. I was just messing with you. I know sometimes you
I just don't
go into your Brit zone.
I do. I know, it's such a thing. Today's today.
And then I'm like, okay, I'll give her like a little bit of time, and then I'll reach back out maybe in like a week or something. Yeah. And just give you like your space. Everyone deals with things differently though. Like that's okay to deal with things differently. Like me, I feel like I'm a talker. I like to process my feelings with people. But some people like you, they like to be alone, process it, like really sit with those feelings and like know what they're feeling. Exactly. And then maybe later on deal with it and talk to somebody.
Like now. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That is the perfect. I couldn't have explained that any better.
Yeah. Yes. Everyone's just different. Huh. That's really what it is. But you're really killing it, and you're really like just hustling through and getting along, and I can't think of any more words to say.
You too, girl. I see you.
But I'm really, really proud of you. Like I'm really so proud of you, because I remember when my my mom's mom passed away. Mm-hmm. Her mom and her brothers all passed away within a year. Ooh. Yeah, and my grandma was like 89, so she was older. But then my uncle passed away of lung cancer, and he was only like 60. And then her other brother was only in like his 60s, and he had passed away from, I don't even know what he had passed away from. I wasn't really that close with him, but she was really close with him growing up. And I just remember the way my mom dealt with it. Like she basically shut down for like a complete year, but like she essentially lost like two of her siblings and her mom.
That's big. I wouldn't.
Yeah, and I think it just kind of like hit her. And I just remember there were so many days where like, because I still lived at home at this time, where she would just be like laying on the couch in the dark, and I would come home from work, and I'd be like, "Mom, are you okay? Like, do you need something?" Like, and she like that's just how she got through it. Like, she just basically laid on the couch for like a year and watched movies. Okay, maybe it wasn't that long, but that's what it felt like. But she would cry a lot, and it took her a lot to get through it. And I think, you know, finally once she got to a certain point, she was able to kind of talk about it without crying and really open up. So everyone's just different.
You're right. You're 100%
I really have to burp right now. I'm like trying not to burp.
That's so random.
We just ate pizza before we came on here, and it was so delicious. Nobody out pizzas
holding it. I'm like holding it together over here.
I know.
I'm buying my pants.
It's like that 50 Cent song, right?
What?
Button your pants just a little bit.
Oh my god.
Okay, maybe it's not like that. But
I mean, yes, but
I just always like associate words with rap songs. Like eventually I'm just going to come on here and rap to everyone.
What was it that you guys used to say a lot? It was you and Taylor. You guys used to say...
It's going to be a no for me, dog.
That's what it was. It's going to be a no. I find myself saying that all the time. It's going to be a no for me, dog.
Randy Jackson started it all, though. We kind of stole the slogan from him.
He for sure did.
But it's so good.
It is.
I remember we were going to do a podcast when we were single. Speaking of single, did we talk about how you were on our old podcast?
Like right now, no. I mean, you just talked about it now.
So, Britt, if you guys watched our old podcast, our old season, Catching Waves, Britt was on.
Not feelings.
Catch Waves, not feelings. Where I was very single. Taylor was very single.
Yeah,
Heather was very single.
Very single.
So were you. And now I'm married. And so is... Well, no, Taylor's not married. She's basically wiped up, though.
I'll say she's right there.
She moved
close.
to Virginia.
They're getting there. It's the next step.
Next step, hopefully. I told her, I was like, I want to be a bridesmaid. So hopefully.
She gets the hint.
Yeah. So what's the stat with you? You catching waves or are you catching feelings?
Definitely not feelings.
No?
100% waves though.
Okay.
But I think, which I think is good, because I was, so when my mom died again, the month later I was on dating apps. For whatever reason, I thought that was smart.
Just something that like helped you, because you wanted, like, you probably wanted a closeness, I think I just wanted comfort. And a connection. Yeah,
exactly. And I, you know, the funny thing is I made some good friends out of it.
That's good.
So weird, right?
Yeah, sometimes you can.
And that's for me, I'm a friendship person. Like if we don't have a friendship prior, I just don't, I can't go out and just meet some, I mean I could, but I just doubt it'll happen. I just like to build that connection.
I mean, I met JR at his mom's Christmas party and I didn't even talk to him for like a year.
You're right, but you guys became friends though. It wasn't like
we did, and Britt actually was the one who called us getting married.
I know. If I could have bet like $1 million, I'd be rich right now. If Andrea, she was the person I told in the car. I was like, watch, they're gonna start dating. She's like, no, you think? I was like, yes, they are. Mark my words. And then
I feel like you need to tell them what happened that night. Where were we?
We were at, I think, JR's, the business place.
Yeah,
showroom. We were there, the showroom.
We were doing a Bible study.
We were doing a Bible study. Mm-hmm. Yep. And as we were walking out, JR was like, I think he was talking to you about
Through the Waves.
Maybe, I think it was Through the Waves. Yeah. And I remember him saying, let me get your number so we can do something. And I looked at Andrea.
Me do a photo shoot there.
Okay. Yeah. And I looked at Andrea and I was like, and she's like, what? And when we got in the car, I was like, I'll tell you in the car. Because you guys were talking.
Then you said something in the car. You were like 2 months or something like that. And I was like, what?
Oh, that's right. I was like, what are you? I remember that.
You were like, you'll see. And I'm like,
that's
what?
Right.
What are you I was like, just tell me. You're like, don't worry about it. You'll see.
I forgot about that. I totally did say that.
I was over there smiling in the corner as it does the sound.
I called it. I'm telling you. I knew. You know when you just know, and I'm waiting for that. So just
you'll have your person.
Catching waves. I'm not in a rush though.
I was catching waves, like no feelings at all.
No feelings.
Yeah.
Feelings are not. I mean, but that's the thing. I think you have to be vulnerable too to end up catching feelings.
And I would say too, like you have to be willing to be like open to what God kind of throws your way, because I remember at that time I kept like saying, I'm not dating anyone right now. I'm gonna fully focus on God. Like I am just not gonna date. And I remember pushing JR away, but he kept pursuing. And that's another thing, is I feel like the right person will pursue you, and it will just be like natural. I gotcha.
I push people away and they just stay away, which is probably for
but the right person will stay.
Exactly my point. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So, you don't have to chase anyone.
Never again. I refuse to do that.
Just dreams. That's probably another song too.
That sounds like a
dreams.
Oh, what's it called? So I read this thing a couple days ago.
Gavin DeGraw, or what's his name?
Gavin DeGraw, yeah. That's his name.
It sounds like something he would sing.
It probably is.
Oh, Jay. Oh god. I need to stop.
What was the thing? I read this thing a couple days ago and it hit me. It was like, I may not be what you want, but I'm what you need. Okay. And I was like, wow.
That's so good, though.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Because how many times do you like look at somebody and you're like, I don't want you. But it's like somebody who will compliment you perfectly, or something in general. It could be a job. It could be whatever you're facing. And I was like, wow, I may not be what you want, but I'm what you need.
And I think like
it stuck with me.
Have you ever seen that I don't know if it was a podcast or it was like a sermon that Mike Todd did about Rip Up the List?
No.
I forget what it's called. It's called The List, and it talked about basically how we create like, I got a burp again. It's like these little baby burps. But
just like go away from the microphone.
I know. I'm just stretching. But it taught like how we create like either these like physical lists where we write them out, or like
oh, I do, for
like
sure.
a mental list.
Absolutely.
Where we're like, the person that I'm with has to serve. They have to have blue hair, or not blue hair.
Blue hair? I don't know about that one. I'm not a fan.
Blue eyes, blonde hair.
I get what you're saying.
You know, they have to go to this gym. They have to smell like apricots. Like, I don't know. You know, and so we create this mental list. So then when the right person that you need actually comes along,
you don't see it.
You're like oblivious to it.
Yep. Because you're living in here, and that's what I do often. I think when I meet somebody or somebody who could be a potential partner, automatically I hype them up in my head, and I'm like, oh my god, this is it.
Yeah.
And then I miss all the red flags because I'm literally, they're up in my head, they're up here when they're honestly down here, and they shouldn't even be in period.
Yeah, they
But
should just be like,
correct. I just hype them up and I focus on my list and I'm like, you don't fit the list. Or
Yeah.
you fit the list.
Yeah.
But
Rip up your
mentally
list.
you don't fit the list. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's funny.
It talks about ripping up your list.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
really
I'm
cool.
curious now.
I think it's called like The List. Or
The list. I'll just Google Michael
Mike Todd,
Todd
yeah.
ripping up the list.
Yeah, and it'll
I'm
come up.
sure it'll pop up. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I mean, there's nothing wrong with being single and waiting for the right person.
Chilling.
You'll find them.
That's
I
good.
mean, like I said, like I thought I was gonna be single forever.
At this point, honestly, it's how I feel. But I think I've come to the conclusion where I'm okay with it. I honestly am okay with it.
You have a person out there.
Yeah,
Everyone has a person, right?
Dangerous thing to say that you're okay being single.
I know, but
yeah, once you're okay being single, watch tomorrow. Britt's gonna be like,
it's been
I
like
met the
7
one.
years. 7 years. Almost 8. Like
7 is a good number, though.
that's
Do
my
you
mom's
know?
favorite number. Fun fact.
Oh, see, like it's such a.
I know,
Do you
right?
know that me and JR legally got married on 7/14/21, which is all increments of 7.
That is wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's why we got married on that day. So 7 is a good number.
7's or the math. You know what? I'll keep you updated.
What's the date today? Today's. I
The
don't know why
10th.
it looks like
What's
it
there? I think it's the 10th. No, I think it's August 10th. So 7/11. Is today free Slurpee day?
I don't know. When did they have free Slurpee?
7/11.
7-Eleven?
Yes, 7/11. 7/11 Slurpee. 7/11.
Today's
Today's 8/10.
8/11.
It's July.
Did you think it was July?
I told you my math. I just
Literally
can't.
just said August 10th.
I know, and I'm thinking 7. Whatever. July.
it's
whatever.
okay.
August 8/10. 8/11. 2022. Right? I don't know the date. I don't even know what today is.
Today is the 11th, I think, right?
But
August 11th.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
It's Thursday.
That's right, it is Thursday.
It's okay. We all struggle with the days.
Anyways,
all
my bad.
good.
Off topic.
No, but going back to the single thing, it's just, yeah, like wait for the right person and
Absolutely.
be open to the right person.
That's the thing. That's my problem. I think I'm just so closed off right now that I just
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think I would miss out on it because, like you said, I just what's the what we just said, like I may not be what you want, but I'm what you need. Like I miss out because I'm looking for
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
what I want and not somebody who I need, and I feel like I'm gonna miss out on them.
You'll never miss out on them if they're the right person. You know, I
Good-
heard
good
this
thing.
like I heard this like really weird thing that most people have already met the person that they're supposed to be with. But it's crazy because I was like, that's weird. Like, how is that even true? And then when I met JR, I'm like, wait, I did meet him like
wow, that's
a year and a half ago. But then like
But you had no idea.
I had no idea. And then he came back around. So it's like, really, if it is the person that you're meant to be with, they will be there at the right time. Because a year and a half, whenever I met him initially, that
Did you think you would have been ready, like
No.
to like date him and stuff?
and JR was like 20 years old at that time.
Oh, shit.
For those of you who don't know, I'm kind of a cougar. Not on purpose. You know, we just happened to hit it off. But JR is 25 and I'm 30. So he would have been even
Yeah,
so much.
he would have
was
been
like
young.
fresh out of college. You know, I'm over here like, you know, I'm cougar.
remember that,
Whatever.
yeah.
I thought, I don't know what this is. And so like, I think maybe at that time I was like, I don't know. It just wasn't God's time.
No, I agree, and that's why I said I'm good. I'm honestly good right now. I'm good. I'm just focused on my career. That's really where all my effort and my time is going into. I'm not even dating.
Yeah.
Nothing. I am just focused on my
good.
career. And when it happens, it'll happen.
Exactly. When it happens, it'll happen. Don't try to force it.
Nope.
But
anymore.
kind of cycling back to what we were talking about
Yeah, absolutely.
before, what do you feel like some of the biggest mental hurdles are that you deal with now?
I think I'm my biggest mental hurdle.
Really?
Honestly, if that makes
That's
any
interesting.
sense.
Yes.
I am very hard on myself.
Same.
Very hard on myself.
Like you start to kind of like
Yes. I
feel
downplay myself.
guilty. Like, oh, I need to be doing this more. Or like,
Different. I'm just when I don't believe in myself. That's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
So like if I go to do something, I automatically say you're not good enough or
Yeah.
you're not going to do it. You're not going to get it. And I do that a lot. Like when I was in fire school, that's all a mental game.
yeah,
All of it's a mental
you
game.
have to tell yourself.
Because I have the
like-
strength.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the mindset at the
Yeah.
time. So I have to constantly tell myself.
That's good though. That
You
you
can
know
do
that.
this.
Yeah.
And I would say I'm the biggest like I'm my hardest enemy, but I'm also my biggest motivator.
Yeah.
It's so
Same.
weird.
No, it's like when you really want something,
Yes.
you can be like, okay, I got this, and kind of like,
Correct. Exactly.
Put your
And
head in the
it's a
game.
mindset though.
Yeah.
You have to switch it because if you stay in that sadness,
Yeah.
or in that state where you just keep hitting yourself down, you're gonna stay there and nothing's gonna change. But once I realized, like when I realized I'm hitting that moment in my life, and it happened, it comes in waves.
yeah,
And once I realized I'm hitting that bad wave, I'm like, all right, let me reset. Is there a weekend I can just take, or a couple days where I can take and just get away?
Yeah.
And that's what I do. That's why this past weekend I did, and I'll find what makes me happy, which is like Disney,
that's so
walking,
good.
meeting friends, like
Yeah.
or being alone. Again, go back to the alone thing. Being alone is what helps me reset. And it's funny because on my drive home yesterday, it was a 2.5 hour drive. Well, I lied. It was an hour and a half because I was coming from the Springs, Rainbow
Yeah.
Springs. And the whole time I was looking at the questions you were gonna ask, and I'm
Yeah.
like answering them to myself.
Yeah.
I had a full-on hour conversation with myself. And I remember thinking,
Hey,
like,
Britt,
I
how do you
went
answer this? Okay, Britt.
exactly. I crossed that question, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what do I do? And I'm like, I talk to myself because I'm my own motivator. And it's true. When I find myself in a rut or going through something, and I find my head playing tricks on me saying I'm not good enough, what do I want to do? I talk to myself. I say it out loud, and I literally say it out loud.
That's so
I'll be like,
good.
all right, well, I'm feeling sad and I'm not doing this. What do I need to do to fix it? Brittany, you should, I wouldn't say, sometimes I say Brittany. I'd be like, Britt, you should probably
Brett.
start going, Brett, you should probably start going to the gym. Because that's another thing I noticed that helps me
Yes.
feel better when I don't go to
Like
gym
the
for like,
endorphins and everything.
yeah, after a
just-
couple weeks, I'm just like,
Yeah.
bleh. I feel like a fat potato.
Oh my
Like I just feel like,
goodness.
I feel gross. Like I just
Yeah.
feel yucky.
Definitely not. But
so I do
feel
that.
you on that though.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
the
big
gym
one.
is a good one, which is so funny because that was the next question I was gonna ask you. You just you probably practiced,
I remember, I don't remember the order, but I remember
but
a
you
couple
just
of the questions.
naturally probably went into it. Was like, how do you deal with the mental health, which is so
Yeah.
good. Like you have good ways
I do.
of
I
dealing
think,
with it.
I think that's the one thing I got going for me that I don't let myself sit in that sadness. Once
Yeah.
I realize, I let myself feel it though, because I think it's important to feel what you feel.
Definitely, and to
And I-
not neglect it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And once you neglect it, that's when they start to become, that's when it gets bad. And I don't want to do that. I don't ever want to get to that point. So I deal with it where I can and when I can. And that's when I'm like, all right, I need to take a mental health day. I need to go somewhere
Yeah.
by myself or with my dog.
Yeah,
And I just go. I just find, usually Disney's a place because I have passes and it's just the easiest, cheapest place to go. And when I walk around Disney, I literally just go by myself. And I have my sunglasses on. I have my outfit and my ears and I'm just smiling. I literally just eat
I love that so much.
all day.
Yeah.
Literally eat all types of food.
That's what I do every time I go to Disney. too,
Ride a
meet
couple
with
rides.
JR.
Dude, it's
We just eat the whole
And then the
time.
fireworks show. And then
It's
just watching people.
amazing.
I don't know. It's just a form of happiness that nowhere else can give. Or the
Yeah.
beach.
Oh,
I'll
love
take a
the
beach day.
Our beach days are the
Correct.
best days.
Or I'll find a friend to talk to.
Yeah.
That's a big one too. Like having what we're doing right now is like my love meter's up here. Like it's full.
That's
I love
good.
this type of things. I
Yeah.
love being vulnerable and I think we're pretty vulnerable with each other. You're the type of person that I can talk to about literally anything. And you've always made me feel safe since I met you guys. Like it was
Aw.
just something I could always talk to you and Heather literally about anything. So
That makes me happy.
I like that. I like, and that's why most of my friends,
Yeah.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
those relationships where you're vulnerable with each other, where you can truly be who you are. You don't feel like you have to hide. And I don't feel like I have to hide from you
Oh,
or Heather.
same with you though. I don't
Thank you.
like. I feel like I can just talk to you about anything.
Anything.
And
Anything
that's
you ever wanna
why
talk.
we have like such a good friendship because it's just so
Agreed.
open and transparent.
It is, and we
and
joke around, and we
Yeah.
find fun. We find joy in things that we do, and I think it's just so important to be vulnerable, not just always in relationships, but with your friends and
Yeah.
with the people you care about, because it just makes you that much stronger. You know, like different levels, and
Yeah.
I like that, and I just
Same.
enjoy. I don't know. I enjoy
Yeah.
this. Enjoy life
Same.
like this.
I'm so glad you came today
What I live
because this
for.
is amazing. This is gonna be like the best one yet. I mean, we've only had 2 so far, but this is amazing, Britt. I'm so happy that you're here. And how do you feel? Like you turn to God in times of hurt. Do you feel like you turn to Him, or do you feel like you turn away from Him?
So I feel that's a funny question because I was thinking about this and I was like, I'd like to say I turned to God, but I don't think I did. I think during one of the hardest moments and times in my life, I turned away and He was standing there and I looked
Yeah.
back and I was like, deuces. Like, that's how bad it got to one point.
Yeah.
When I was in school and juggling just all of it, I literally questioned my relationship with God. And I was like, are you even real?
Yeah.
Like, why would you let my mom die?
Yeah.
Because I guess it was just trauma. Because when my ex left prior, I blamed God too. It was like, you took that person away from me. That was my person, you know? Why would you also take the other important person in my life who got me through when my ex left? Like that, my mom was the person who picked me back up and helped me find who I was again, because I was so lost. I was so lost, and my mom was that person who made me picked me up again. And then he took her, and I remember sitting there like, why did you take her? Like, you could have took anybody else in the world who, like, and I don't wish that on anybody, but I was angry, very angry, and I didn't understand
which is understandable
why he took her. And I mean, I still don't. And I think that's probably been the biggest, like, block mentally in my relationship with God right now and I'll probably never understand why. And I know every death has a meaning and everything, you know, shows up coming, but still doesn't make sense to me. I could have bet my whole life she wasn't going to pass away. I could have bet my whole life.
Yeah.
And she did. And I mean, if anything, my mom, she opened my eyes to just life and to just, it's too short.
Yeah. It's very short
to live.
Just
and
how quickly, like we were saying earlier, like the past 3 years have gone by. Like, nobody's promised tomorrow.
No,
and
not at all.
I think that's the thing that we get, like, caught up in our heads, is that, like, we're here to create this life and it's gonna last forever. But really what it is, it's God's not trying to, like, hurt us, even though we feel hurt in these moments. It's just we all have a purpose and a job to do here. And so once our job is fulfilled, it's just our time. And it stinks, though. It sucks because we don't want to lose the people that we love. And kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, it's just like, it's nice to know that, like, we will see them again one day.
For sure.
Because, like,
telling us my only motivation is that.
Like, I mean, like,
she's good.
I think the same thing about my grandpa. Like, you know how close me and my grandpa were. Like, I got a whole, like, tatted arm. Eventually, I'm gonna have a sleeve over here. I got his airplane, everything. But, like, some days I'm just like, I'm like, man, I miss him so much. But then I, like, take, like, all the stuff that he taught me and, like, the influence he had in my life. And sometimes I do get really sad. And, like, even my grandma, me and her were pretty close. But, like, I'm just like, man, I really wish that I could just sit and like talk to them, or like drive over and see my grandpa. Like, I tell JR all the time, I'm like, I really wish you could have met my grandpa. Like, you guys would have been like best buds, Teslas, Hyperloops, airplanes, all of it.
I get that. And that's what me and my mom would do. We would walk. So during COVID, and that's another thing, like, I didn't even see at that time, was that COVID was such a blessing.
Yeah.
I had spent 6 years away from her, and I cut out of the military, and the first year I'm out, COVID hits. So we're stuck together in this house. We're quarantining, and I had no idea in that time that was the last year I would get with her, because the following year I was in tech school, and I was in school for 7 months almost. So I was barely with her, and she was sick. The last 3 months I was with her, so that whole year I didn't even get with her. But during COVID, what we would do is we would walk like 4 miles. We would have conversations just like we're doing right now. Just about nothing but everything. We would talk about the trees. We would talk about, like, how we feel, our futures, like what we should do. Like, that's why I love just the communication aspect of it. And just it's such a talking and getting to know someone's heart and someone's mind and how someone is. That is just a friend. It's just so, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And
it's so beautiful, especially when you have someone like that, where it's like you feel like you can be so vulnerable with them. Like that's how I was with, like, my grandpa. You know, like, you just have this, like, genuine love.
And the love's there. Correct.
And I feel like nowadays too, with, like, friends and people, it's kind of hard to find people that you really connect with. I feel like with culture and, like, society, doesn't mean it's not there. But it's like,
it's a little harder
for me. I feel like just certain things I've experienced even within the past year of my life, like, I've like sort of closed myself off from being as open as I used to be, where normally I'm like, hey, I'm Sarah, what's up? Want to be friends? Like, da 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 da.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember you like that.
I'm just like, hey, I met this new person at a gas station. Want to come over? Like, everyone, like, I would invite random people to Bible study that I met literally
so
in,
true.
like,
You
the gas
did.
station.
Yes.
And, but I've kind of experienced some things to where I've become a little bit more guarded. And
Yeah.
so it's just made me, not saying that I don't want to meet people and like be open to people, but I think that I just really cherish the relationships that I have more
Good.
now.
As you should.
Yeah.
They're important.
So I totally get what you're saying. Just like having that person that you can
So
go
good.
to and like talk to.
That's why I like to keep my like friends open too. But sometimes I like to take it deeper, and sometimes some people turned off by it. You know, they don't like it because they're not comfortable with it. And I don't like to push people, and I wouldn't ever push anybody. But being my friend, I ask the uncomfortable questions. Like I'm a flirtatious person. I like to play around. I like to laugh.
I know.
And
I feel
not
like
even
you and Taylor had like good banter. Like,
we
you
did.
guys
We
were
messed
always,
around
like,
a lot. We were always
like
laughing
back and forth at each
We
other.
were.
Yeah.
It was fun. But that's like, I don't know. It's just sometimes you just meet somebody and you guys just click on a different level, and everything's just fun. And I enjoy those friendships. Like, they bring me joy. And then I enjoy also those vulnerable talks I can have with these people too. And just
Yeah, I know. I just like hit my.
I don't. It's a thing. I crave it, and that's like a love language of mine, is being able to talk and be vulnerable with somebody and having it in return too, because it's weird when it's just you,
Right.
You're
Like,
they're just like,
hey, what's
yeah,
up? My name is Brittany. And then the other person's like, cool.
yeah. It's like, all right, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll just leave then. You know, good talking to you. Bye. See you later.
Yeah.
That's it. But when you have somebody who's vice versa, just as vulnerable, it just builds, and it makes you appreciate them more because you know what they went through. Like, you know about them that they didn't tell you. Like, I don't know. I just love it. I truly love it.
I think I'm the same way. I think it might be like our Pisces mentality.
It has to be. It has
Where
to
like
be.
we just love opening up and like talking to people.
Small talk annoys me though.
Yeah.
Like random, how are you to a stranger?
Like a surface level.
That's an intense question to ask a stranger.
Or like
how are
surface
you?
level. I don't like that where it's like you know somebody, but they never really care to like get to know you deeper.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's like, hi, how are you? Okay,
Good,
cool.
thanks.
Yeah.
See you later.
It's like I've seen you for the past like 6 months of my life.
Years.
Can we have a deeper conversation? It's like
Correct.
one-armed hugs. Like,
Oh my God! Don't get me
Brittany
started on
hates
one-armed hugs.
One-armed hugs.
I hate
Don't ever
one-armed
go
hugs.
in for a one-armed hug with Britt.
Can't stand
She
them.
refuses one-armed hugs. You can.
It's okay. You
JR
didn't
gave
know.
her a
You didn't know.
one-armed
But
hug.
now you know. So now
Don't
I'm gonna
ever do
hold
it
you to
again.
that higher standard.
Yeah. It's not
Yeah,
a real
I'm not
hug.
a fan. And that's the thing. I love hugs.
Yeah.
Hugs, just being embraced.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I freaking love it. So
Yeah.
I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
Especially when it's somebody you love and like truly
Yeah.
care for. I just love.
And you just want people to feel like
yes,
they're cared
and you
about
squeeze
too.
them
Like,
a little bit, and you're like, oh,
exactly.
it's love pouring out of
We're
me
on the
into
same
you.
level.
It's Pisces. It's just our emotional
It's just
side.
our vibe. We're on a vibe.
We're happy people.
The kids still say that vibe.
I don't know, man. The kids be coming up with random stuff
That's
nowadays.
bussin'.
That's bussin'.
My 4-year-old niece
That's
said.
bussin'.
My 4-year-old niece the other day goes, "That's cray cray," and I'm like, "Where did you learn that?" She goes, "Oh, my mom told me it's Spanish." I'm like, "What? That's not Spanish."
What?
Like, where do these kids like get these things?
I don't know.
She's 4.
I used to make up stuff though when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's the greatest time. I loved it.
She says the funniest things. I honestly want to ask my sister if I
You
can do a podcast with
should.
her, because we did a fake one in here one night and she was saying the funniest things. I was like, "So Emery, like, what do you do in the morning when you wake up?" She's like, "Well, I get a bowl of Lucky Charms and I'm like super lucky." And I'm like, "Well, why do you feel lucky?" And she's like, "Because I have my family." And I'm like, "Oh, that's the
You
nicest
should
thing."
totally do that.
It would be great. She says the
That would
funniest
be
thing.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Because 4-year-olds, they have no filter. They
They
just
have
say
no-
what they feel in a good way though, because
Yeah.
they're not like abused. You know what I mean? To like
Yeah.
what we see like as adults, they don't see any of that. It's just
Yeah.
4-year-old stuff, and they're just so innocent.
They're so
do
innocent.
It. Highly encourage it. That'd be so funny.
Yeah, I'm
It'd be cute.
gonna try to get my sister to do it.
Ask her
It
just
would be
random
hilarious.
questions.
Yeah, she'd be down too. She looks at herself in the mirror and she goes, "I love looking at myself in the reflection."
It's like Ariel, man.
I'm
that
like,
girl.
conceited much. Yeah, and then she names all of her Barbie dolls. I'm like, "What do you want to name this one?" Emery. What do you want to name? Emery. Emery. I'm like, "Can you give it a different name?"
They're all Emery for the next year.
she loves herself. I mean, that's great,
good.
Great for confidence.
Good for her.
Maybe just tone it down a notch when you go to like school.
I am
I'm just
beautiful
kidding.
and
Yeah.
everybody else isn't.
Right? I am a princess. You are not.
Thank you.
Yeah, but no, she's cute.
Aw.
But the next thing I was gonna ask you, kind of like to wrap this all up, what's your favorite Bible verse
My favorite verse.
that
I feel like
that you feel like is like the most encouraging or you resonate most with?
I would say. So this is probably like the most cliche answer, but for me it's not because it stuck with me for all these years.
Yeah,
so when I
it's-
was like, I think I was like
What you
maybe
feel.
15, 14 at the time, and I was going to church,
Okay.
and the sermon had started a story on Peter and walking on, like when he's on the boat and when they're on the boat going whatever doing what they were doing, and he sees Jesus walking on water,
Yeah.
and he's like, hey, like get off the boat, and Peter's like, I don't know. He's like,
Yeah,
how do I know?
guys,
Yeah, he's like, how do I know you're really, who you say you are?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, get off the boat and you'll
find
see.
out. Yeah.
So right, Peter gets his faith and he gets off the boat,
That's so
and
cool.
he's standing there, and seconds go by, and he starts to sink. Right, he's looking around. Oh, my bad. He realizes it's thundering, it's windy, it's raining, and he starts to sink.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, God help me, right?
Yeah.
And Jesus, he like looks at him, pulls out his hand, and he's like, yo, you have such little faith. Like, why did you doubt? Like, you were walking on
And then
the
he had
water
that little bit of doubt.
with Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, you were literally standing there,
Yeah.
like looking at him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't even notice it was raining. He didn't notice the wind because he
Yeah.
took the faith
Yeah.
to just get out of the
Of
boat
yeah.
and step, and he was on the water. And the second he realized, oh shoot, it's
Yeah.
raining, it's windy, how are we on stand? He starts to sink.
Yeah.
Jesus is like, bro,
Just turn to me and have faith,
Bro.
and I got your back.
immediately reaches out his hand, is like,
Yeah.
why did you have such little faith? Why did you doubt?
Yeah.
And that right there, that sermon just
Mm-hmm.
stuck with me for, I'm 29 now, so what, 15 years almost?
Yeah,
So-
almost, because you'll be
Yeah.
30 soon. Yeah.
just stuck with me
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of my life. So now, when I notice like I have such little faith, or I feel like I'm just struggling. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
why do I have such little faith? Why do I doubt? What am I doubting really?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably my favorite story, my favorite verse,
Mm-hmm.
my favorite everything in the Bible. I don't know. It's so powerful to me that he was with
Yeah.
he was with him.
Yep.
And the second he looked away and realized his surroundings, he's like, whoop, starts to sink, and
Yeah.
it was already late at that. Not late, but he was already sinking at that point. And Jesus is like, gosh, why?
But that's like the coolest thing though, is like when you do come back in faith, like all it takes is like a hand,
Oh, that's good.
It's like
That's good.
It's like God is there to like reach out his hand for you and give you what you're asking for. He just wants you to have that faith. He wants to have that relationship with you, and
Yeah.
he's just there, like willing, kind of going back to like
True.
that mustard seed thing. It's like even in those moments where we're
Yeah.
pulling away, like he's still
We're the one who's running. We're getting
Yes.
farther, not him.
Yeah.
He's just standing there. Yeah.
I feel like I tend to do that too, because like I did this I don't know if anyone's familiar with inner healing. I did this inner healing session one time, and it's where you kind of encounter the Holy Spirit. Close your eyes and you just really try to connect with the Holy Spirit in like seasons in your life or times in your life. And there was this one time in my inner healing where I was like on a bus, and it was I know it gets better,
Random.
and I
Your
was,
inner healing started on a bus.
Well,
was it a city bus? Or
well,
a school bus?
it was like a charter bus. But it brought me
That's
back
good.
to this moment of where like I was getting like made fun of by someone, and it like hurt my feelings. And I remember like the person who was doing it, she's like, where's Jesus in this moment? And I remember he
rough.
was on the back of the bus. He was there, but he
Uh-huh.
was on the back of the bus. And then later on we went into like another experience in my inner healing where I was in like a different period in time. And again, he was kind of far away,
Yeah.
but he was still there. And I just remember them asking, okay, like, where's Jesus now? And I'm like, he's here, but he's still kind of far away. And then they're like, well, what do you feel like he's telling you? And I felt like in that moment he was telling me that I am always here for you. I've always been here, but you need to seek me and you need to pull closer to me.
It's true.
So I think so, like there's just so many times where it's like we feel like he's not there, but he's always there.
Yeah.
And
He is.
And he's always got our backs and he's always going to love us. And it's just really up to us to have that faith and seek that relationship with him and pull closer to him.
For sure. Like I said, I just feel like I know that too. And I don't know. I guess it's just a human in me to just, I'm still angry and I am still just processing.
Okay. That's okay. And that's the
all
cool
those
thing
feelings.
is that he's still going to be there, right?
Yeah. No, and don't get me wrong. I still love Jesus. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
I love God. I love Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm there, you know, but just my heart is just still like, I can't even listen to most songs, like Christian songs. I literally find myself changing it because a part of me like doesn't feel those words in those moments.
Yeah.
And I feel like most Christian songs, you have to, like, you like the song because you believe those words. Because the words that are sung and said are true. They come from a place of love and, like, you know, you've experienced half of the stuff that's being sung in that song. And I'm not at that moment right now. Like, and I feel horrible, but I know it's just a thing that I have to continue to push through every day and force myself to pray and force myself to read because it's just me that's pulling away and it's the devil, you know, attacking
and
my vulnerability. And I was
going to say that earlier too, like when you were talking about your dreams, like your bad dreams. Like,
true.
You know, like sometimes too, I feel like sometimes it's the enemy trying to like get in our heads and make us feel like that oppression and that sadness. And that's why I was saying like, it's so good in the morning, like when you wake up to just say a prayer and like, so that God can kind of speak truth over that situation of like where your mom is now and like the peace that she has, you know. And
I get you.
It's just so good.
It is. No, I agree. It's like I said, it's definitely a process and it's something I've never experienced before. So it's a learning curve too, because I've never experienced loss like this. You know, I lost my ex, but it's different.
Yeah.
It's, you know, like my mom was the first person I've ever really lost. So,
it's just healing.
Ever lost. Yeah. It's just a healing process that like you said, everybody deals with differently. And I'm just trying to get there. Yeah. You know, just slowly getting there.
Yeah.
Slowly.
You're doing amazing.
It's happening.
Seriously.
Thank you.
And everyone, there's no timeline on it. So it's not like you're like, you have to be
I have 3 weeks left.
And 3
My
days.
healing journey.
Yeah. No, it's like you can take as long as you want. And like you said, when you start to get down on yourself, you know those moments to where like you can pick yourself up and be like, okay, I need to do this to get
the one thing I'm proud of.
Yeah.
I won't let myself sit in my sadness for a long time. It'll be like a couple days and then I'm like, all right, I don't like this. I don't like the way I'm feeling. What do I have to do to change this now?
Yeah.
And then I figure it out. I take the time away and I figure out what I need to do.
That's good.
So that's the one thing I got going for me.
That's so good. Well, you're doing amazing.
The one W.
Yeah. I feel like you're winning all around, but
thank you. It's good to hear that.
Yeah.
There's days where I feel like I take some big L's.
Yeah.
You know?
We all do though. That's what this podcast is about, is we all have those waves.
Those L's.
And some waves are bigger than others.
Dating life.
Yeah. But like we talked about that will help it. That's gonna happen. But yeah, I mean
but no, I get what you're saying.
Your L's are W's.
They're gonna be
waves.
Oh, true.
So they're all W's around.
I feel like your L's eventually turn into W's though, because think about it. It blocks you from something that'll more than likely is gonna end up bad for you. Very rarely do we take an L on something that we really that's something that's really, really good for us.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I think life always just works out. It's probably God.
Yeah.
But I feel like everything in life always just works out for a reason. Always.
God works all things for his good. I talked about that
there
literally in like the first podcast that we did.
Exactly.
So I think it's Romans 8:28 is the scripture, the verse from what I remember. I could be wrong, but yeah, God works all things for his good. For those who love him.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I'll keep that with me now.
Yeah, girl. Well, thank you so much for coming today, Britt. You have to come back again because I love this. We need to just talk about life.
We do.
You can come back
love
anytime.
just talking about everything. We can talk about anything.
You definitely got to come back and juggle.
I'll practice.
I'm gonna get more. I'm gonna add bowling pins next time. And I'm gonna get more lemons and avocados.
Okay, bet. That sounds fun.
You're going to have to do like 10 at a time.
10?
So you better practice.
Holy shoot, am I a clown? Actually.
Maybe. That could be like your new side hustle.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to join the circus though. But I want to be an acrobat. I wouldn't want to be a clown.
Yeah, clowns are just creepy.
Not a fan.
Yeah, same.
Don't recommend.
Yeah. But thank you so much for
Thank you.
being here today, Britt. And it was just such a pleasure. Thank you so much for opening
For
up
sure.
and talking. And thank you guys for joining at home. Feel free to like and subscribe and follow us on any platform. And if
Yes.
you or anyone you know has some waves that they would like to come on and talk about, feel free to come on. We would love to have you guys. And if there's anything that you just want to talk about personally, feel free to shoot us a message or shoot us a DM. We would love to just talk with you and see how you're doing and just be there for you.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys so much for joining and have a great day. We will see you next time. Bye.